Hello.
There was a memo, I guess.
Thanks for reading my email. Clearly they did. No, this email did.
And weren't you looking dapper in your?
And then you have your blue.
I know, and they both have
That was a lot of fun.
I have a personal question on
That
this.
subject. No, they are.
Where'd you guys go today, anywhere? Or was this,
Me?
yeah?
No, I have dinner plans with people coming to my house for cocktails. We're forgetting.
Okay, and you? And you?
Who's that?
Very nice.
Oh, no, just, you know what, I just wanted to wear a t-shirt today.
Oh, okay.
So for the store, it's like I gotta have to go t-shirt and jacket, so yeah. Still early, she got 2 minutes.
That means 8.
I don't know how she does this now. She cuts everything so close.
So we got somewhere to be.
Yeah. I saw her car earlier. In the parking lot. So,
In this parking lot?
no, I'm ours over there. Yeah. It wasn't there when I left. Just a girl on the go. Yeah. Yeah, all that's.
It's already been done.
Your earrings glass. Very pretty.
They are pretty.
Did you, oh, I was gonna ask if you got them on the street.
Yeah, I had, we went last week and there was some entertainment.
The on-air sign should come on. Okay. Okay, we're ready, everybody. Good afternoon and welcome to the VillageFest Board meeting. My name is Dottie Watson. I'm the chair. I call to order our meeting today on February 11th, 2020 at 3:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Chair Watson,
Here.
Vice Chair Campbell,
Here.
Board Member Garton,
Here.
Board Member Flick,
Here.
Board Member Ganella,
Here.
Board Member Montanti,
Here?
Board Member Baum,
Here.
and Main Street Joy Meredith is currently absent. We have a quorum.
Okay, the next thing is public comments. This is where anybody in the audience can come up and speak for 3 minutes regarding anything regarding the street or the board. Anybody? No? Board comments? None. Okay. Correspondence? Any?
We do have one correspondence. I'm going to pull it up via email, but it's a complaint regarding one of our vendors selling real fur on the street. It's one of our vendors who sells vintage clothing items. So I'm going to pull up the complaint and then pass it around so you could take a look at it. And if we want to have further discussion or ask the vendor to come and represent, we can add that to your next agenda item. So that'll go around through the meeting.
Okay.
And is the issue just because we don't agree with that, or because there's a state ban?
Well,
State
well,
ban?
both, technically,
Okay, yeah,
yes.
that's
Mhm.
what- And the state ban is also on secondhand products, right? It's not just on new?
That's a very good question. I'm not sure, but I
So
can look into that.
I'm not sure about that either.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, the next thing is the consent calendar, which we can't do it because we had one person absent, so I need a motion for the posting of the agenda, which we can all do. So a motion?
I move we post the agenda.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, approved. The next one is approval of the minutes, which you have to abstain. Okay, I need a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes.
I second. Oh, there was a second, sorry.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None.
One
Okay.
abstain.
And one abstain. Okay. The next is the legislation actions. First one up is Arts and Crafts. current vendor?
I don't see her up there.
No?
We can try if she comes.
Okay, maybe she'll come late, okay. No. Next one is Sharon Mahoney, Entertainment. Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Hi.
Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
Hello.
So I was in touch with you, Faith? Yes. Hi, Faith. So nice to meet you. So I was just in touch with Faith. You can hear me, I don't need a microphone.
Yes, you do.
Televised.
Oh, televised.
Recorded,
Well
yeah,
then,
yeah.
let me just get into my, hi guys, come on in. I'm Entertainment, nice to meet you. How you doing? Just in town one afternoon. So yeah, I do a comedy character street theater performance. I did send all my promotional materials to Faith. So the show I've taken all around the world for about the last 2 decades at world-class events, comedy festivals, and street theater festivals. There is a video that I could show you, but just because it's... You saw it? Oh, okay, great. Well, you saw it like we saw it, or it was like, no, we saw it. Wasn't sure. Yeah, but I think it would go great here. I think there seems to be a real festival vibe down. Is the street closure is at Palm Canyon, is that correct? Yeah.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Faith was saying that they were looking for circle shows to be at the market. And, my show is, like I say, it's interactive. It has a lot of audience participation. And there are 2 characters. I'm Canadian originally, so I have one character that's called Sharon from Canada. You don't need to pray for me. It's all good. Yeah, just relax. Yeah. Or keep praying. All right, so anyways, #awkward. So how you doing? I hope you're making the decisions. That's my dad. All right, not, but could be. Hi, how you doing? Come on in. I got 10 minutes left. I got 3 hours of this material. We're gonna go forever. So it's 2 central characters. One is called Sharon from Canada. She's clad in sort of a Sue Sylvester type tracksuit with Canadian paraphernalia all over her, and she's very passive-aggressive, polite, apologizes for everything. I have several hat tricks that I do, Buster Keaton-style tricks, and then she has kind of a mild nervous breakdown from being so politically correct and transforms, does a quick bag routine and changes into an alternative character, which is a little bit more domineering. And I have 4 male volunteers, and I build a ladder of men. And for the finale, I perform the ladder of men to Nancy Sinatra's "These Boots Are Made for Walking," #female power. And I know you like that, sir. And then
More than you realize.
Do really? Oh, wow. That's exciting. I like it. You're not revealing any of your cards, but that's okay. The man of mystery. And then at the end, I juggle fire standing on 2 men's shoulders. It's pretty much your average children's puppet show, and I think it would be fabulous here. I think it would be a hit. I think that Palm Springs, I've got a couple people laughing in the audience already, so, I mean, at least the vendors will be entertained at the worst case scenario.
Sharon.
Okay.
Sharon, can I
Yeah.
ask- so I watched most of all of the videos you
Yeah.
said. So there's like a couple of places where you ask, one place particular where you ask somebody in the audience to pat your butt or pat Canada.
Yeah.
You're not going to do that on the street here, are you?
Is that something, if you're concerned with it? I mean, I've performed the show in Dubai, which is...
Can you eliminate that if
Dottie.
the board...
Microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I mean, if there's certain things that the board is not happy with, can you eliminate them?
Sure. I mean, it definitely fits
Your
something
act
that
is
you're-
very good. Go
Oh,
ahead.
thank
I'm
you.
sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you, Dottie.
Yeah,
I
that's
appreciate
it.
that.
And I love
Yeah.
the flags. I thought
Yeah.
the flag thing was hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I say, I'm willing to sort of accommodate whatever. I mean, you guys are from here, so you know the people, the community better than I do. And if you think that would be a problem, it's such a small part
Well,
of the show. I'm
let's
happy to
hear from the
eliminate
rest
it.
of the board.
I think there's enough else there that you can do without that. part.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't offend me personally at all, but
Do you want to touch Canada?
I might,
you
I might
okay?
do it before you leave.
Yeah, it's very fun.
but,
Let me just come on over here. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Would you
But
like
the
to
reason-
touch?
Not
It's
right
okay.
now.
I'm giving you consent. It's okay.
We're on
Canada.
video.
See,
We're on
so for
video.
those
I
of
don't
you,
know
no,
if it's
I have
Anyway.
Canadian pants.
No, but
Says Canada,
seriously,
and then I ask
Alright,
people
let's
to
get back
touch.
So
Let's
the one thing
order.
about Village Fest to keep in mind is
Yeah.
that a lot of people go down there with small children. That's their
Yeah,
thing.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a big family thing, more
Sure.
than you'd catch us hanging out there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't mean us as the board, but us
Yeah.
as.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that. And this show, like I say, I perform at world-class events all over. Most of the events that I perform at are family events. So, and I did do this show at an outdoor event in Dubai, which is probably much more conservative than anything you're going to find in Palm
Okay.
Springs.
Are you
So-
planning to be seasonal, or how often are you planning to?
Well, right now I'm going to be here I'm based in Los Angeles from almost now October until May. So I was hoping to be down here for that period of time. And then next year I'm hoping to be down for the summer as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So I think any laughter is fun, and I
Absolutely.
don't see a problem with it. And
Yeah.
I think your audience will react to however you're going to feel what they're going to say.
Sure.
And if that's all little kids have to worry about, then there's more in life than just that. So
I like you.
I see it.
Thank you.
Do you have business cards too?
I can relate you to my website is actually the best sort of thing to do, just because it's got all of my videos and
Okay.
bio and everything is on there. And
Darryl?
plus,
Playing with fire,
yes.
is that something you have no problem doing? Only because we're open to the public, it's very windy, and we're
Yeah.
prone to brush fires.
Yeah. Like, I do have public liability that covers me for any sort of thing like that. If it is something that you're concerned about, I mean, definitely, like I say, the show itself, I'm happy to work with you guys to make sure that there's no problems and that everybody feels. The purpose of the show is that people enjoy themselves and have a laugh and leave
Definitely
feeling
make people
good.
laugh.
Yeah,
So
sure.
it's
Definitely.
not that I want people in any way to feel like, oh my God, we're going to touch Canada and then we're going to get
All
me
right,
too,
hold
and then
on,
she's going
hold
to set
on.
me on fire. That's not
So,
the, yeah.
so I'll be real quick. I think you're a good judge of character in the audience,
Yeah.
and if you see the environment is such that there's a lot of kids,
Yeah.
avoiding certain discussions at that time. It's not that
Absolutely.
there's like just busloads of kids out there, but the
Yeah.
families do come out from like Cat
Sure.
City and different parts of the area. So,
Yeah.
but it's really judgmental.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I
Figure
say,
that.
the only reason why I bring that up is just that because I've had to work so many different over the last 20 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
Yeah,
sort
it's
of
just-
get the gauge of what's going on and, work
You'll
with
get
it.
it.
Yeah.
You'll see it.
All right, thank you. I need a motion so we can get into
I
discussion.
move that we accept this entertainer.
I'll second it.
All right, any discussion?
I think this is great.
Yeah, I think it's been great.
The fire is my
Awesome.
only
You were
worry. We
hilarious.
can grope Canada all we want. It's just
Oh my God, I love that your last name is Flake.
get it.
All right,
You'll be a great addition.
Oh, you guys
Okay,
are
so
so
all
sweet.
that- all
I feel
those
like I
in-
just won Dragon's Den. Oh
all
my God,
those,
who's going to give me $100,000?
all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, none, there
Thank
you
you
go.
so much, guys.
see you on the
Okay.
street.
Okay, so should I be in touch with Faith about how we
No, she's already in touch.
Oh, awesome. All right. Great.
See you on the street.
Guys, thank you.
Have
Bye-bye.
fun.
Bye, Daryl.
Oh, the first one is here? Okay. I am told that May's art has arrived. Arts and Crafts, current vendor. Are they here?
Maybe.
Where'd you say they're?
May?
Oh,
Oh.
She was hilarious on the videos.
Oh my God, yeah.
I was cracking up.
yeah.
That was very
That's
But
somebody
I
that
didn't
will
want to
get a
come in the
big.
front row here when you were at a comedian.
But she,
No, thank you.
clearly.
Human
That
sacrifice, yeah,
that
that's
makes
never
it a
good.
nice audience,
No.
Yeah.
It breaks it up.
No, you can have one. You can drink.
Hi, May.
Good afternoon. I'm here again. I don't know if you remember me. I showed some of my glass artwork, taking bottles, wine glasses,
Yes.
recycling. Does it? And I had one piece of jewelry. It was not enough, and it was understood. After getting to know the market, enjoying it very much, I want to add my new jewelry collection to my display. So if you want to pass it by or keep
Pass them around.
I create my jewelry. I have a little video of a tour in my studio. If you would like to see it, I could show it.
Yeah, she's selling them, okay. there, yeah, let me see that.
It's coming.
Well, wait, does anybody have any questions? No questions? All right, go ahead.
I have a question. I have two questions. So, do you make the chains?
No, the chains itself, I get,
Okay.
That's all
I
right.
control the length, the
Yeah.
design, but I don't make the
And how about the glass medallions?
Yeah, this is my work. I
Yeah.
get
You actually
it.
make the glass medallion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I get
That's
it.
all I want to know. That's fine. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Traditional stained glass pieces.
So you're not making the glass itself?
No,
My part,
But-
my stained
but it's
glass.
all this, it's all
Wait,
the
that's what I
setting.
asked. Hold on. That was my question.
That's what
Is, do you make these glass beads?
No,
The glass beads, no, the work around. I can show my.
Yeah.
part if you
It's all
like.
welded.
It's the welding.
it's the welding.
Sealed.
It's okay.
So it's the soldering and all that? Okay, that's
Soldering,
fine.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
Okay.
It comes within the glass.
And it,
Okay.
yeah, and it's a piece that you would use in stained glass.
Right, right. They're beautiful, by the way.
Very nice.
Got to be hard work, is it?
It was a lot of work.
I know,
yes.
I know.
Very hard.
All right, anybody have any questions? No more?
No.
All right, I need a motion.
I'll move that we accept this vendor's
I second.
additional products.
Any discussion?
I second.
No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? There you go, carries.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. All right, where was I now?
Nanny's.
Nanny's Pantry. We got food coming? All right, the next one is Nanny's Pantry, Farmer's Market.
I know.
My partner can do origami.
Oh,
I'm just like,
Oh, yeah. Today I was stringing little seed beads. 'cause
Remember,
make
I
these
didn't take-
bracelets on looms.
yeah.
I
And
didn't-
it was like so meticulous.
What is this? Are these sick?
So I packaged it like this so that you could see how we package everything that
Okay,
we
the tasty. Okay,
sell.
got it.
We currently, pardon me, thank you for having us here. I am Nanny, or Missy, whichever you prefer.
Yeah.
This is my lovely daughter Erin. I'm also in business with my other daughter Jessica.
Oh, wow.
We've been doing this since May. I was in hospitality for 11 years and had a break. And my girl said, Mom, you've been wanting to do this forever. Let's do it. So here's Nanny's Pantry. We bake everything small batch from scratch. We use all natural ingredients. We currently are at all the farmers markets, La Quinta, Palm Springs, Palm Desert. We feel like VillageFest would be an amazing addition to something that we're already doing.
You said you are at the farmer's market in Palm Springs?
Oh,
Yep.
my goodness gracious.
These are beautiful.
Look at this.
What you have there is a lemon cake, a banana cake. Banana cake is our best-selling cake. You won't have had anything like it ever, I promise.
Oh, my gosh.
You have a chocolate cake with chocolate buttercream in there, and you also have a mini pie. It is a 3-inch apple or cherry pie.
Hey, Donnie, I'm on a diet.
So I did 5 apple and 5 cherry. Whatever you get, you get.
No rice, no potato.
Sorry.
But again, a really good display of how it
Oh, they're good.
comes to our guests.
Great. I like the boxes, too.
Thank you. We've made everything as ecologically and environmentally friendly as we possibly
Beautiful.
can. We do not use plastic in anything. You see that your sample spoons are all bamboo. Everything in front of you is recyclable.
So this is all sold by the piece, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have any pictures of signage or booth or?
It is in the,
I
I
see,
think it was the first picture was a booth.
Okay.
this is the sink.
Oh, for God's sake.
Ah, there you go. Buried at the bottom.
All right, we're passing the pictures. Anybody have any questions while we're waiting?
And chocolate's on
It's so good.
Wouldn't be?
really good.
Thank you.
And are you wanting to be year-round?
Yes.
There's a lot of love that goes into everything that you're trying.
How do you think the cupcakes are going to hold up on a 110-degree day on 110-degree asphalt?
So the buttercream, one, you're at night. The buttercream is very stable. I don't use anything that won't hold up. Obviously, because of health regulations, we can't do anything that won't hold up in that heat. We are also investigating having refrigerated bakery cases because we do have an opportunity to have electricity where we are. So for me, going forward in the summer, having done last summer at COD, I'm all for refrigeration.
So again, are these pieces that you, like a food court kind of item, where people would buy a piece of something and eat it, or is it packaged to go? Does it come?
It is in the case individually. When they buy it, we package it, so they have the label and all that good stuff, and they can take it with them. They can eat it there, they can, at that point, they can eat it wherever they like.
Either way, basically.
Correct.
Good question. Do we really want them in the food court or in the farmer's market?
Microphone.
I'm sorry, my microphone was off. That's a good question. Do we want them in the food court or in the farmer's market? Because it seems, because I had mentioned that there was no dessert at one point, I said that.
They're applying for, they're listed as farmers market.
It's typically farmer's market.
No, that's where it really belongs.
Okay.
That's where it's going to do the best.
Yeah.
Will you be taking orders?
Yes.
Pictures of the booth.
We do weddings, we do other special
Wedding
events as
cakes
well.
and things like that.
Okay.
There is a picture of the booth here.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the very last picture.
Not that I'm getting
That's the
married.
one I want.
But everybody has a
one more.
birthday or
It's
some kind of an
very
anniversary
it's
or
white
something they
with
celebrate.
white table covers.
Okay, it's not the very
My
last
birthday's
picture.
coming.
So you know what? Somebody else find it.
Okay.
But it really is.
It's not the
Here it is,
very
right
first
there.
picture.
Okay, that's the one
No,
I'm
that's-
seeing.
And this is the hand washing
That's a
station,
good
in case you
booth.
wanted to see that.
Oh, yeah.
We love our hand washing station.
Okay.
Every time we get
Okay.
inspected by the
I
Department
saw
of Health, they take pictures of that so they can show all their friends.
All right, if everybody's had enough questions, I need a motion if we want to get.
Motion to accept.
Oh, my God, yeah.
It's great.
Who seconds that?
I second it, you made it.
Daryl made it.
Okay, any discussion? It's delicious.
Yum.
Thank you very much.
Great job.
Thank
All
you.
those in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Okay.
Thank you.
We'll see you on the street.
All right.
There you go.
Thank
There
you.
go.
Here's her pictures.
Oh, another farmer's market. Happy Hawk
Do we-
Farms.
Are those your pictures or do they
Are
come
these-
with the-
Isella Robles?
These are your picture,
Yeah, they're coming.
Paige, do you keep these or do you? Okay, great. That's what I thought. Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Oh, more food.
Bad time to not be eating sugar.
I went through energy levels so high.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
We're, you know, you can
Oh, we're good.
Actually, Isela is about 10 days from delivering, so I had to take over for her. She's my daughter.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
So she's expecting a baby.
Good excuse.
Yeah, we'll accept that.
I don't think we want that on the video.
Yeah, she's actually the creator of everything we're doing. You know, we're a family. We have about, I think it's about 380 trees of avocados. Most of them are Haas.
Oh, my God.
And I'm from the, I guess, the capital. I was born in Mexico, in the capital of the avocado. But to me, there's nothing like a California avocado.
nope, you're right.
And I have a granddaughter who, I think that by the age of 2, she would recognize when the avocado has the natural oils. So if the oil is not there, she won't eat it, you know, but, and if it's there, it's like an apple to her. And she's the only granddaughter that does that.
Love that.
So, you know, again, you know, my roots are salsa, but I do know that I can never satisfy my people, you know, with the spiciness. So it has to be super hot, and I don't like that. To me, it has to be enjoyable, and that's how I focus.
Can I pass out samples?
Yes, please do.
I'm gonna try out the guacamole.
Okay.
This is very tasty. We have no spices on the guacamole. We do have a guacamole salsa, but we do it for people that don't like any spices in their guacamole. So what else? They know how to do samples. This ain't new.
You know, pass some paper towels, paper towels.
Everything that we make, it is made hours before we bring it to you guys. This is all avocado. We do wear, as you can see, we don't mush the avocado.
Good.
Yeah.
Would you guys like to sample some of this guacamole?
It's like.
That's
like
That's
what I would think.
Seriously,
this is what I go for.
That's good.
Really good. I can't say the restaurant.
So I do give away,
Yeah.
I do give away a lot of samples.
You can taste the lemon.
So you guys will hear about me. If you guys
that's
accept
really
me.
good.
This is very
But I'm
good.
a sample guy.
Have you tasted it?
Everybody loves the sample bag.
Oh, yeah. And
That is excellent.
And then we guarantee that it's not going to turn, it turns like brown, so you can see.
You can tell us your
We have a little
Lime
secret. Yeah, well,
Lemon juice. Lime
we go
juice.
all the way to the top so that no air gets inside.
there's
And that's
a lot
what
of lime
keeps
juice
it,
in
keeps
there.
it really,
We're gonna jump to the mango sauce.
And the sugar cane?
We also have shrimp ceviche. We have a creamy guacamole. This one is spicy. It's more like the one you see at Pollo Loco, but better.
pressure.
Spicy on the average person, the mere mortal, spicy as in.
We say, for me, like mi tapatio is hot.
Okay.
So this one I'll call like a 5 or 6. It's not
Okay.
spicy.
Okay.
I think only if someone really asks me for it, like they make fun of my salsa.
It's a good
bring
food.
some
Oh,
hot,
oh.
Then I go in
Yeah.
research mode. I'll bring them a hot salsa. But everything's always made to where it's not too hot.
And then these are our avocados. And we sell them in a bag.
This is
I
good for
just don't
fish
know how much
tacos. If you never had
this
fish tacos,
would go for.
the mango
Daniel,
sauce.
this bag would go for.
Yeah, I usually sell bags for $5.
Oh, that's
Wow.
good.
Great deal.
And the sugar cane that you took the trouble to bring in?
Yeah, I
They
would
would
go
grow.
cut it
I
myself.
think we're one of the few people that grow the sugar cane, and I don't know, but there's people that if Daniel brings 50 of them, she buys them all.
So you'll be selling fresh sugar cane?
Yes.
Yeah,
fresh sugar
well,
cane.
we only have,
Oh, my
we
God.
probably have about 4 more weeks of sugar cane and it's over with.
That's
for us.
good.
Celia, would you look in that list and see? I didn't see the.
It is.
It is, okay. I missed it then.
Yeah, sugar.
So good. It's coming around.
Do you grow the mangoes too?
No,
Thank you.
Not
the
the
only
mangoes.
exotic thing we have growing in our house is a banana tree.
Yeah.
So nobody's been able
And then
to
we have the
believe we
microgreens,
a
and
banana
this
tree.
is
They're very
my daughter's
soft.
specialty.
We live in Arlington
Wait,
Heights.
we can't.
Okay.
We have a banana, Arlington Heights.
This is the
Victoria,
microgreens.
the famous-
Do you want to put the microphone closer to your face?
Yes.
Let's try the mango.
And then we also have the microgreens, and this is what my daughter really focuses on growing. So this is, I can't say this word. Daniel, the flower is
Nasturtium.
yes.
Dispersion.
Uh-huh. And then,
We grow all the microgreens. She can really stay.
Microphone, please. Microphone, please.
Huh?
Microphone, please, because we're being filmed.
Yeah, we grow all the microgreens from all the radishes, daikon radish, a regular radish, rambo radish, the peas, pea shoots, basil, arugula, chives, Swiss chard, cabbage, cilantro.
Well, it's all good.
So we do grow all of them.
Yeah.
And we prepare them this way.
Yep.
We also grow the nasturtium flowers.
Okay.
They just went wild.
Wow.
And
It's okay.
the
That's all right.
avocados, the oranges as well. We do have another type of.
it's a maple in Valencia,
No, la mandarina.
tangerine.
Yeah, but they're not ready yet. They're still not sweet. And the sugar cane, we probably have about another month worth of it. And I do cut it up and give people samples so they can try it. Mostly people buy it because their kids never seen sugar cane before. And everybody that buys it, they're shocked. Like, where'd you get it from? They act like I brought it from another country. Like, what do you mean? I've been growing this since I was a little kid. And I lived in LA, so we do have a lot. We took advantage of our avocado growth since we're on the slope. We decided all the water runs to the bottom. And we just decided to put sugarcane down there about 3 years ago.
Wow.
And it went from maybe 12 feet to about maybe 50 feet. It's like it just
You're
took
in
over.
Riverside, right?
Yeah,
You have a lot of land?
7 acres.
It's a lot.
And are you wanting to be annual or
Yeah.
seasonal?
No.
Annual?
I'll be
All
here.
year, okay.
All
Anybody
year.
have any more questions?
Delicious,
All right,
delicious
Let's try the
salsa.
creamy guacamole.
Okay.
The
question-
a lot too. This is a shrimp ceviche.
Oh,
This one I really like.
I do have a question for staff, though. Do we have anybody else, how many other similar, or if any?
None.
I don't think we have any.
Okay.
This is farmers, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I just could not recall if we had anybody else doing guacamole.
And
so-
no one sells microgreens except one guy
Not for me.
Okay.
at the
Yeah.
Saturday farmers
That-
market.
no, I don't
And
want
he's-
spicy.
He's
That's
done in
all
an
right.
hour always.
I'll make a
Is
motion.
it mild?
hard.
Okay, let me try.
Who wants to try the one?
You are so bad.
Oh, really? I like it. I like it.
Oh, no, that's good. A little bite. Oh, it's a big bite.
Actually, you can leave that here and we'll.
That's good though.
I can see that with,
Okay.
Oh my God, that's real good.
I'm really good with that.
Didn't get out for lunch
I
today,
used to
did
sell a
you?
lot of guacamole before. Thank you. Till my wife came out with this one. And now my guacamole sales have dropped.
And this is the spicy one?
Yes, it is. It's got a bite to it.
For me,
Okay.
it's subtle.
It's got a bite. Okay, anybody else have any more questions?
Nope.
It's delicious.
Now all we
great.
need is a taco
Great
guy.
product.
All right, let me have a motion, then we're going to discussion.
I move we accept this vendor.
I second.
Any more discussion?
No.
No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? All right, carries.
See you on the
Have fun.
street.
Have
The
fun.
mango salsa is really good.
That is really good.
Can't wait to come over and get that.
Yeah.
Straight avocados, those are, that's.
We can take you out for dinner.
I don't think
No, no, they're samples. That's right.
How nice is that?
We can keep them.
We can.
We can keep those. We can keep
They're
yours.
open.
If
Okay,
you're,
who's ready for the shrimp ceviche?
we can keep those. Yeah.
Sorry.
So leave them out and then everybody will take whatever they want.
Very nice.
There you go. Okay.
Should we grab some on the way out?
Yeah, it's the brand new stuff you can't keep. Samples. Okay. It's good. Always coming around with more stuff.
Okay.
they're all good. The salsas.
All right, the next one is Carissa Weber Arts and Crafts.
What is it? We put some shrimp in there.
They here?
to Get to it.
No?
Rosie, do you have the spoon? Can I get it? So we can really try it? 'Cause I don't think I'll be able to.
Faith Carissa, no, okay.
Here it goes.
Okay, the next one is Mr. C.
And here, I'll give you the check.
Also.
Sylvester Sam Cambless.
You ready for your-
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's always gonna be loaded with shrimp.
You know, I didn't know that this was the way that you guys do it. So I only brought 2 of my CDs.
We saw it
We saw
online.
it.
We
And
saw
so
it
you-
online.
Oh,
Good enough.
it's not the CD, it's, we'd eat the CD, that's the
All
difference.
righty.
We did get to see you, though.
We saw the video.
But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah.
About me?
Yes?
Oh, my goodness. I will be 68 this coming July. And I've played music all over the world, from Europe to Asia and all of that. Used to have a group called Elbowed Out, and we started our journey. I've been writing a book about it. But we started our journey back in 1980 or something like that. There was a booking agent that wanted us to exchange some of the members of our band. He didn't like all of us black guys being up there on the stage. And so we weren't going to do that. And so we went on the road and played in Canada, Singapore, Tokyo, Paris, a lot of different places. And then I went back into teaching. And so I had been teaching for over 25 years in Seattle. I am from Seattle. I know a lot of people are from LA, but I'm from Seattle,
That's okay.
Washington. And so I moved down here maybe about 7 years ago because I had a cousin that was somewhat ill. Then his children came and took him on to Fresno, and I moved to Las Vegas for a couple of years. But ever since I've been back here, I have not been able to latch on to anything. And it seems as though when people see me coming through the door to check on a job or a gig, they kind of start walking the other direction. Maybe someone told them something about me. I don't know. I don't know. But I play piano and all of that stuff, saxophone, trumpet, and of course I sing. Lately, I have disregarded the piano because it's too heavy to carry.
Yeah.
I have to walk up 2 flights of stairs to my apartment, so I just don't want to carry it. So I blow my horns, flugelhorn, trumpet, and tenor sax, and of course sing. And so I am just looking for something to do in my age here. I am looking for something to do, and I will continue to go out and investigate and see what I can find, see if anyone is interested in me.
Okay.
But first of all,
Anyway,
You're
anybody
gonna
have
sell
any
your-
questions?
You're going to sell your CD?
that's why I was bringing them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would attempt
You can
to
do
sell
that.
the CD.
Absolutely.
But my songs, I try not to play. I may play 1 or 2, but people have never heard of these songs, and so they tend not to know what they
Well,
are.
that may change.
But I will be playing music of Kool and the Gang, Earth, Wind and Fire, various other artists from the 80s. And of course, some of the songs I'm going to blow on sax, some I will blow on trumpets, and I got some Michael Jackson tunes that
You also do
everyone kind
reggae,
of comes
right?
in and pop. Yes, I do. I do a few tunes.
Okay, hold on, Mr. C. Anybody have any more questions?
No.
All right, I need a motion.
I mean, we said this vendor?
I'll second, and I think you should go over to the purple room.
Oh, absolutely.
The purple room.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know
Yeah.
where that is.
Yeah.
AJ's on the green.
Yeah.
AJ's on the green.
Oh, I think he's
Melvin's,
gonna get a lot of
Copa.
offers.
There's a lot. There's a lot
of
out
places
here.
in town.
You'll be
There's-
noticed,
yeah.
believe me, in a good way.
Okay, and so all I ask is someone to kind of come around and let me know if I'm too loud, because
No, you'll be
I
fine.
do that.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed, none? Okay, there you go.
Excellent. Good luck to you.
See you on the street.
Good luck to you.
Oh, okay.
There you go, easy. Okay, the next one is Teresa Thorne Design. Teresa Thorne. Hi, Teresa.
Hi.
You're all the way from Fallbrook.
Yes, I did. About an hour
Okay.
and a half. It wasn't too bad. Let me
go.
get to, I know the microphone
Talking to the
here.
mic,
you wanna
yeah,
see it?
please.
Well, thank you very much for having me, and I get to show you my designs. I've been an artist since very young. I'm an oil painter, pastelist, and I have been making jewelry for about 8 years now. And I do a lot of bead work, and I make these beautiful, I got bracelets on a loom, and I can show you. I bring this one with me when I'm working, and so then I can kind of show people that I actually make them, because sometimes they see that, oh, where did you buy these? And I said, oh, no, everything I handmade, so I can show them.
That is a
Sure,
lot
yes,
of
let me
work.
pass these around.
It's an
And I-
incredible amount of work.
Thank you so
I've done that, but
I've
I've
done
done
it
it
Design
with
them after
you.
European tapestries and, different
Beautiful.
things like that. And I love putting colors together so it's helped.
Did you make your earrings?
I did, yes. This is the peyote stitch here. And I do have a
Tedious.
collection of earrings like these that I do different designs. And so it's
Where do you see
a
these?
passion, I just so enjoy making them. And it's fun getting the feedback from people, that
This
come
is
by,
so-
so.
That's a lot of work. That is a
It's
lot
a
of work.
lot of work,
It
yes,
is.
it
It
is. And I have a lot of beads, I'll show you. I have lots of jars like these. And so these come from the Czech Republic. The Czech Republic has the nicest glass beads you can get. And so I use the seed beads, and then these are called fire polished crystals. So they're really high quality, and the price point's really
I
good.
just want to,
Yeah, so your bracelets that I see your pricing was like $48 for the bracelets?
Yeah, there's different widths, like this is one that's 55, then I have 45, 35.
That's an amazing
Then I do
price.
these thicker cuffs that, a little more ornate, so those come about 75. And I can also make sizes to fit, too. Yeah. Those take a long
gorgeous
time to
men's
make also.
bracelet.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so
That's
fun.
gorgeous.
Isn't that fun?
You'd put the, oh,
Teresa, did you have a picture of you
I
making?
do,
bigger
yes,
for you.
because I forgot that
But
when
those
I
are
was
Okay,
over.
just pass that around.
Oh,
Pass
sure.
it over here, yeah.
Okay. Yes, I came home and.
That's all right.
I was being interviewed. I was in San Jose. And there was
Okay.
a morning show, so we did an interview. So I have my loom set up and I'm working as she's interviewing me on Channel
can you
4.
pass the, I mean, can we carefully see the
Sure,
loom?
yes, definitely. This is a smaller one. I have a wider one that I use sometimes at
Beautiful.
home too.
Isn't that beautiful?
What I
Very
do is I
pretty.
have a pad and then I just pick up the beads and then I run them. See how this
Beautiful
is
stuff.
run through.
Nice work.
I hold them from the back and so they go in through one side and then around the back.
Very nice work.
Is that a thread? Because
There's another one. Here's another. I don't think we need to see any more. I saw one and that was enough.
Is that
That's
made,
a nice upright loom. Most looms, if you're younger, sometimes they have the ones that are set on the table. This one's nice because it's easier on your neck.
There you go.
So I enjoy using that. And I'll bring that to my shows.
I've done this kind of beadwork before, just
Oh,
for,
yeah?
but not like this.
Yeah.
And I know how tedious it is to go through each of the little holes.
Yes, and if you mess up your pattern, I just have to take it out. You have to have patience, lots of patience.
Yeah, I do.
And then, redo it.
Is that a thread or is it what's
It's
the?
a heavy-duty
That's why I wanna see
nylon
it.
cord, and I use 3 different strengths. There's like it's called the text. It's this really strong one. There's a medium strength, and then a finer one. The finer one is what I thread that through and sew through, and then on the sides are the thicker pieces to make it sturdy and strong.
We don't have anything like this on the street.
Beautiful work.
That's why
Incredible.
thank you so much. I know it takes a long time, and that's probably why you don't see it as often, but I enjoy
Are you
it.
wanting to come year-round?
Yes, that would be great. Yes, I would.
oh, okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Dottie?
Anybody have any more questions?
Motion to accept?
I second.
Okay, no discussion, everything's
Well,
good?
thank you so
Okay,
much.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
See you on the street.
See you. Oh my gosh, this is here.
Oh, thank you. That's a good evening.
It's a good addition.
It's a lot
With
of
the
work.
needle and thread.
That's what her loom is.
Okay, where am I?
She's a friend of mine. I have her one of her dresses.
All right, the
one of her
next one up
dresses.
is Dovetail 37, Lorraine Clemens, Arts and
Yeah,
Crafts.
no, they're well worth it. Oh, really? Oh, yeah. They're
Huh?
one,
We saw her.
one piece.
This is, we saw her.
Yeah, I know.
Like it's unique,
We
yeah.
talked, all
Hi.
right, everybody, attention.
Yeah, we should give the vendors
Thank you,
attention.
first of all,
Yeah.
for having this venue for artists
I
to
know.
be able to show their things, because it's hard sometimes to get out there. My name's Lorraine. I did this, what was it, 2 years ago, I think? Yeah. And I had some family members pass away, so I didn't come. So now I'm back. But what I do, it's called Nuno felting. And I take my silk, which is either, I can dye it, I can paint on it, or I just buy it. Like if I go to Europe, I'll buy some nice pieces there. And what I do is I take my silk, and I have 2 big 6-foot tables, sometimes 3, and I take my fibers, which you can see, these are the fibers. And it looks kind of like hair when I'm laying it out. And I decide what I'm gonna make. I cut out the arms, the sleeves, wherever the seam would be. And then in the process, I am rubbing and rolling and throwing, and I have to, some of my pieces I'll make like a dragon or a bird, and as I'm rolling it, I have to unroll it because the water moves the fiber. So these pieces can take me from 6 to 2 days, depending on how much, how much, what the detail is, what the design is. I make jackets. I have dresses with the long sleeves. So where the seam is there's no sewing unless something didn't adhere where the fibers were supposed to adhere, and then I would stitch it. So in actuality, each piece is unique. I can take this same fabric and try to make the same thing, but because of the variables of the wool, it's not going to look the same. And plus, I don't remember anything anymore because I'm just like, where did I put that piece of fiber? Oh, yeah.
I think we're with you on
Not going
that.
to remember that. So I do sign each of my pieces because I do feel that they are an art piece. Depending also, too, I have a piece that I sold. I wanted to bring it, but I sold it. It's a technique I do with sumi ink. And it's a Japanese technique, so I take my white fabric and I ink it first, and then I make the piece, and it was a jacket. So that piece obviously would take me longer because then, I have to print it. This one was dyed in avocados first.
Oh, God.
And then I
love that.
Then I made it. So see how this didn't adhere? But see, I like that because it's not in a seam, it's not, in the crotch or whatever, so I left it. And then I do the sleeveless. This one, let's see. I tried to bring one of each piece because, again, I'll make tops, but I like, well, okay, maybe I want a high-low top, so I don't really have like tops that are all the same. This piece I painted first, it was completely white, then I painted it, and then I made the piece.
We saw you, the three of us, Julie, Dottie, and I, at the Indio
Yes.
Arts
Yeah,
Festival.
yes.
Her pieces are
Gorgeous.
And actually, I'm a proud owner of one of her
Yeah.
pieces from two pieces, that's right. Two pieces from
You
like
got the black-
8 years
the
ago.
the black dress with the red.
8 years ago?
I think so. You have a white one with the cherry blossoms all
cherry
the way
blossoms.
down. And then I'm going to make you that dragon piece.
And she's making me one now, a dragon piece,
I
yeah.
had to order, I get my supplies from Italy.
Send one around
Yes.
so everybody can.
How much would something like that cost?
So this one, because it was dyed, I think I have it at $375, just because it took me, to dye the piece. It sat in avocado pits probably for a good 2 days, and then to actually
So I'm not
make the
following
piece.
something. So
Yes.
there's a fabric which you use as the base, right?
The silk.
Just a plain silk.
Just the silk,
Okay.
uh-huh.
And then the threads are wool?
They are.
Oh, got it.
They're
Okay.
very, very
That's right.
fine
Okay.
micron, yeah.
Amazing. It's
Thank you.
simply amazing.
Some of the pieces you're used to are more, it's all wool, and that's a very heavy micron, so I use a very light one.
So I have to tell you, the
yeah.
nice thing about these is they fit everybody.
They
So
are
they're
very-
not cut, they're a great fit, and when I've worn them, I have tons of compliments because it's like a walking art piece, and people love it.
How do you launder?
How did you do on the street last time you were here with the
I
pricing?
did so good.
Did you?
She does good
Yes.
at all of her
Okay,
fairs.
good.
Yeah, I did
Because
really
your pricing
good.
is a little
It is
high, but it's
high.
justified, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, and I go
high
back and
compared to
forth
the other
with it
things on the
because
street.
like when I heard her with her looming, I'm thinking $200-300 for a bracelet because I have
No, I mean,
I do weave.
still.
I weave and it takes forever.
yeah.
So I was shocked. So
I've
do
done more
that's
like that.
something I do go back and forth with. But again, it's trial and error. So
Yeah. Really cool.
All right.
What about laundering for this stuff?
So you want to put it in the sink with cold water, and because at the end of this process, they're in hot water and I'm throwing them, and
Yeah.
you just
It's crazy.
rinse them and squeeze them and lay them out to dry.
Oh,
The
okay.
pieces that are all wool, like this one is all wool. and it's
Oh,
reversible. So
that's
again, my pieces are reversible. But this, you would put a towel in it so it would dry.
Okay.
Here you go, Daryl.
Yeah, this one is.
Pictures.
That's
I love these
amazing.
Pictures.
And I do pants, so I brought a little bit of
Yeah.
everything. I didn't make a skirt, I didn't have time, but I
Unbelievable
do
work.
skirts also.
It's on the list, yeah, okay.
Can you pull out the yellow one?
Question?
This one?
Yeah.
So this is one of the tops.
Oh, that's
Oh, that's
But
beautiful.
then
beautiful.
again, see, I got crazy and I thought, oh, I'm gonna do a high-low one. So nothing is the same. Draping is kind of just on a flat, so I kind of just drape and see what I like. I haven't gotten to men's stuff yet, sorry, guys.
So the nice thing about this also is they're so light that if you want to wear a bodysuit underneath it and just that, it's totally, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, they wear
Yeah.
slips or they do leggings and a tank, and the pants sell for Coachella like crazy. Like the girls, they really,
Gorgeous.
aren't they fun?
Yeah.
Will you be having, how do you plan to display or,
So I have my tent, and then I hang some of it on tent. But I also have a four-way rack that I just purchased that helps display, so it kind of goes down at an angle.
So more of a stand than actually
More like
the
a
clothing
tree.
rack than
Yeah,
behind
it's not
it.
like this. It's
Okay.
real pretty. It's rose gold and.
But it's not on wheels, and we won't be chasing it
No,
down the
you're not going to be
street.
chasing
Okay.
it. No,
Yeah.
it has locks. And then I have another smaller rose gold rack that I use to put some jackets. But
And she has a beautiful display
Okay.
too.
Yeah, I make a motion that we accept this
I
vendor.
second.
Absolutely.
Any more discussion? I don't think so.
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No.
thank you again.
There you go.
See you
Amazing
on the
work,
street.
amazing work.
Yeah, beautiful.
Very
That's
unusual.
true artistry
Yeah.
again.
That is
True
true.
artistry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes,
That's the
You
spirit.
guys have a good night.
You too.
You too.
Thank you, you too.
Good luck.
Wow.
Okay,
Yes.
we have another entertainer.
Oh,
Derek.
no, we have,
Oh, this
is it Dovetail?
That was Dovetail.
That was Dovetail.
That was Dovetail. Derek.
Yes, that's
Hi,
me.
that's you.
How are you guys?
Good, how are
Good.
you?
We also saw your video.
Great. That's a
Yeah.
good start. That's it's going to help explain the situation. Most people don't know. Chinese pole? What is that? What do you do? How is that possible? That's impossible. Why are you doing that? Keep doing that. I love it, but why is it happening? Yeah.
So
Yeah.
would there be a special place for him because he does juggling with fire and is on top of people and on a pole and
Exactly. I feel like I should have come up and been like, so what Sharon Mahoney said, all the same stuff.
okay.
She and I have known each other
and you're coming-
for like 15 years. It's great
Oh,
because
wow.
those of us that do shows like this to this level and caliber and travel, there's very few of us. I mean, I think there's like 1,000 of us that speak English that do the tour. So we'll see each other all over the world, Canada, Australia, Europe, you know. And so I've known Mahoney for a long time. Go Canada.
Amazing world.
And you're from Los Angeles?
I am at the moment, yes.
Okay.
So do you just rely on tips? Is that how you make?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yeah, you can put your hat out there.
Yes.
Or
Yeah,
bigger.
this one is not big enough.
Right.
There you go.
And we do with the pole and other things. I mean, fire is my only concern, but the pole is, yeah, intervene.
They would come out
Or is it down?
'Cause he
And
has
I've
a
done
high-
a roughly, I mean, I lost count a long time ago, but it's between 4,000 and 5,000 street shows throughout my career,
Yeah.
maybe more, all with fire, zero problems, zero incidents. It's
Good
also
for you.
like, I think people get potentially the wrong idea. Like both what Sharon and I do with the juggling is different than doing like a fire show. Like I don't breathe fire, I'm not spinning
right.
it. So whenever you juggle it, when you don't, juggle it, you don't know what's going on. But the juggling clubs, they don't go very far. Like I do drop kind of on purpose to raise the suspense, and it'll roll and hit the ground and then roll back towards me, right? Because one
Oh, yeah.
side is wider than the
I
other.
mean,
so
I've
it kinda
just
rolls in
been
a circle.
involved in fire demonstrations with the exact same people 2 weeks apart. One went very right. One went so religiously wrong they almost took the theater down.
Whoa.
So yeah, I'm just paranoid.
Fair enough.
He lost his hair that way.
Yeah.
That's how he lost his hair.
Wow, that was a recent incident. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to your. So there's that, and then you guys saw the video. But it doesn't really show that I use volunteers for the pole. So it's not like I need any sort of ground rigging or anything like that. Like that becomes a whole part of the show where the guys come out and they dance and then they hold the space. I feel like the same amount of space that Sharon would need is the same space I need. Maybe a little
Great.
bigger, but I feel like whenever we're talking about a circle show anyway, just being able to accommodate the crowd and make sure that traffic flows, no problem, that kind of thing.
Well, we're pleased to have you.
Yeah, any more
Yes.
questions?
Yeah, the high up.
Okay, I need a motion.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Any more
Great.
discussion? I don't think
No,
so,
not
no.
at all.
Fabulous.
Yeah,
All
great.
those in
Looking-
favor?
Aye.
Thank you very
Looking
much.
forward
I'm only
Very
sad I didn't make you
solitary.
laugh as much as Mahoney
All right,
did.
Derek. Have fun down there.
Thank you.
Yes. You'll get a big crowd.
I look forward to it. Yeah, you guys will be surprised.
Yeah.
Okay, the next one is Funtastic Vibes. Happy Vibes are Hung. I'm not even going to try your name. You'll have to tell me when you get up here. I don't want to crucify it.
Are we going good?
This is for arts and crafts. Hi there. It might be easier for you. Bring your things out first. Don't try talking now. Bring your things out, and then you can take that mic off and carry it and talk at the same time. Okay? I'll give you a minute. There you go. Let's see, she's got prints, canvases too. Oh, we got a lot of stuff here. Okay.
Take your time.
Yeah, no rush. Yeah, just pull it. There you go. All right.
Okay, my name is
Hold it
Hong Lan.
close.
Over the years,
Can
I
you
like to
speak
create.
louder into the mic?
I like
There
to
you go.
create things, and I am a self-learned artist, photographer, things like that. And I created a lot of artworks over the year. And currently, I am building a website, like a web store, to apply my artworks on different types of products, like canvas prints and bags and pillows and things like that. So the first thing I would like to show you is the canvas print. Not this size. This one is a double the size that I would like to sell
Photography,
at Village
beautiful.
Fest. But
Is
it's
that your
only,
photograph?
yes, yes. I just want to show you the quality of the canvas, the frame, and the prints. But the size that I would like to sell is only half this size.
Okay.
So it's only 18 by 24. This one is 24 by 36. That's one. That's one thing. The second
Forever.
one. Second thing is the totes. The tote bags has my artwork on it. So I have a lot of bird photos.
So is that a painting or is that a photograph?
Photograph.
Photograph.
Yes. Yes,
All her
yes,
things
please.
are photographs.
This one is the matic board. Yes, different images on there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Oh, my gosh.
So where do you get your images?
She's a photographer.
She's a photographer.
I
and
take
then
photos and then I sometimes play with the computer software and put them together or edit them and change and things like
How
that.
do you get it off the computer and onto the various items?
Oh, this one.
Obviously, the frame, the matted being the exception.
A lot of my samples today are samples only and don't have any images on them, but I have to order them. And the manufacturer will apply my image on the products
Okay.
and sew them together. But that's what they do. So what I have is the matte image that I did, and then
She never said she did.
put in frames like this one. This one's already framed. The other one is image matted. So those have already have the artworks on them. All these right here don't have any of my artworks on them yet, but I tend to sell these also. But all of the products will have the artworks on them.
Oh, so those are samples of things you're going to put your artwork on?
Yes, yes. So I will have like a campfire mug that will have my artwork on, not this one. But right now, because when I order, I have to order a minimum quantity of maybe 50, 100, and things like that. And then I have to also pay a setup fee. So right now, they don't have my artwork on them yet.
Pass that around, please.
Yes, yes, please.
Quick question. So you'll be selling the prints as well?
Yes, I will
Copies of
be
prints?
selling the
These as
prints
well,
on
yeah.
on the
Okay.
matted board and frame and the canvas.
Okay, got it.
Those
Okay.
are the things. And also because I have a web store,
Right.
so for the bigger size, people can order from the web store.
Yeah.
So I will be selling the full bag, weekender bag, friendly bag. Also,
But you would only be selling them with your images
with
on
my
it?
images, all my
Mhm.
actual products will have my images on them. These are just samples.
So with the hummingbird, you have the material and then you sew it?
No.
No, this is about.
Yes, but the picture is on the inside of the seam.
The
And the
The
product comes from another
The
another company.
manufacturer will apply my artwork, and then they will print it. It's called sublimating, printing.
Sublimating, yep.
And you
Yeah.
have, were the receipts for that in the book?
I don't know. Dottie has it now.
So this is a photographer that's will be
Yes.
selling her prints as well as selling her prints on materials.
Yes.
Yeah.
Seems like
Yes.
that.
I'm only an artist, photographer. I don't make these, but I apply my artworks on different types of products and sell them.
Well, we have, how many photographers do we, with prints? I know the gentleman right across from us in front of, what's that one store? Yeah, H&M, yeah. So
We have
there's-
several that they'll do use different mediums. Some of them will do yoga
Okay.
mats and things like that, coasters or cutting boards.
So this exists throughout the street,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
coasters,
That's what I-
things like that, yes.
Do you ever sign your pieces so that, as the artist, so that people would?
I never sign my art.
It would be good if you did.
I
It would be
see.
good for the event, and I think it would be that the customers would like that too.
I have to think about that. This is the first time I'm doing this, so I don't know what to do.
These are pictures of you, these two things, I see the computer showing how you're transferring it. Do you have pictures of that?
of her in there, she's just taking pictures.
Yeah.
Picture of her taking a picture.
Yeah.
It's a little hard to.
But how about putting it onto the?
She's not doing it, she sends it out for
Oh,
it to
okay.
be done, but it is her artwork on these
Gotcha.
Yeah.
items.
And we've got
Okay.
current vendors that do that.
Can I ask you, do you mostly sell the matted prints, or do you mostly sell,
There's a canopy.
Right
on
now, I
these.
will do the matte print and then in frame like this.
Oh,
And
uh-huh.
on canvas,
Oh,
and
first time.
it will be printed on all these products. Like the tote bags, the fanny bags, the accessory bag, and maybe tablet bag. And
Your booth, are you going to have a canopy over your booth?
I don't have a canopy. My booth will have 3 tables, like a
Like
U
this?
shape. Yes.
Is that permissible?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
It's going to be hot.
Because I do by myself, so I cannot put up the canopy.
Just be aware with prints, when the wind picks up, everything flies. So
Yeah.
you have to really be prepared for it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will do.
It's not that frequent, but when it happens, it's
Yes,
disastrous.
yes. I thought
It's-
about that also
Anybody have
because
any more
very windy.
questions?
No.
I'm just having a problem with the bags because
It's her canvas.
it is a canvas, but the tag has a different manufacturer on it, and the print is overlapped in the seam, and it just doesn't seem like, I don't see any receipts of who she's dealing with or what's being done with the person that's making this for her. There should be some receipts for exchange of canvas bag.
We have let people in who use, like, that is her blank canvas, and then she's having her photography put onto her images put
Yeah.
onto the blank
I
canvas.
order.
So
I
it's
order.
like
all-
coasters that are out there. The coasters
Yeah.
may or may not have
Becomes the
a
canvas.
tag. It just becomes a canvas. But the main thing that she'll be selling a lot of, what I've seen experienced, is the prints will sell a lot. And to Joy's point, having been around for so long, that's why she's recommending that you sign them. And it provides that value. And this is just a recommendation. You can do whatever you want, but it's a recommendation. But yeah, but the coasters would have, yeah.
Okay, anybody else have any more
After it
questions?
printed. That's what my sister told me. I should sign my artworks, but I
Yeah.
never.
Okay, I need a
did it
motion.
before.
Motion we accept?
I second.
Any more discussion? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Did you vote, Julie?
Mm-hmm.
In your mind?
I oppose.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Next one is this one we're going to be discussing, I think.
You can have mine if you like.
I like it.
Okay. Staff, the next one is the Great Plate.
I got dibs on the chunky stuff.
I don't think they're here.
I know, I think that's,
Okay.
That
so
was
the board
regarding-
Right,
That's
you
the-
received a complaint
Yes.
from another vendor last week.
right, that
so
piece of paper that we got.
We did make contact with that vendor. They replied with,
A short letter, so that.
Yeah.
It's too brief and doesn't say anything.
okay,
Oh, I missed the letter.
there you go. Just basically says that they'll ensure that they will give us notification when they, meaning the owners of the company, are unable to attend.
Well, and we've allowed, as I spoke to staff, vendors to be absent every once in a while. Things come up, as long as hopefully they should be notifying
Right,
you.
they should provide notification
And
to staff.
most of them do,
Yes,
and if they don't,
and they do as well, they have.
yeah, they have.
Yes.
Yeah, because I checked on that.
That was
with you.
proper.
Yeah,
Right.
so everything is okay. Okay, so that's all we need. Do we need to do a motion on that?
You don't.
No.
It's up to you. We put it on there if you wanted to, but you don't need to.
No. Okay, the next one is Terra Gallery.
So
we have
this
one about
item
fur?
was added to your agenda from your last board meeting. We did provide a notification to Prickly Pear regarding your decision at your previous board meeting to revoke their permit. And in that letter, I made sure to give them notification that you'd be discussing this item today. And since it was on the agenda, they had the right to come and speak to you and were provided the 5 minutes. So they're here, and I'd like to give them that opportunity, and then the board can discuss anything they'd like.
Okay.
Again, I thought I was coming here for Terra Gallery.
Correct.
You are.
Yes.
Oh,
You are.
So, well, I don't know why I'm being asked to be here.
Well, I suggested that you come because the board wanted to review your conduct from your Prickly Pear booth. But because it's the same owner for both booths, they wanted to discuss the item of Terra Gallery. You're more than welcome to just listen. I just thought if you wanted to
I mean,
advocate for your
I honestly don't know
booth-
why you asked me to come here for Terra Gallery, but I'm willing to listen.
Well, I'm.
Well,
yeah.
well, listen to what they say. Yeah.
What,
Wait, so I'm sorry, do you own both?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so then we're here to discuss Terra Gallery.
correct.
Okay.
Correct.
And the issue with Terra Gallery was that
Right, the issue with Terra, well, there wasn't necessarily an issue with Terra Gallery as an individual booth. The problem was both of the booths became a bit enmeshed.
Okay.
And the board felt as if there was some deceitfulness that happened in terms of how those booths got meshed. And please correct me if I'm wrong, I'm kind of trying to reverberate what your discussion was at your last board meeting.
Was this also with product that was not in the store being
Right.
represented at the booth? And
Correct.
was that with Prickly Pear or with Terra Gallery?
Prickly Pear.
With
It
Prickly
was
Pear.
some items that are typically in the Terra Gallery store that have been seen, were all of a sudden showing up on the Prickly Pear in their booth on their table with Prickly Pear, with Terra Gallery cards at the Prickly Pear booth.
But then there's also a concern about product that's not represented in the stores on the table, correct? So the
Correct.
discussion today is just to make sure that going forward, that merchandise from Terra Gallery is represented at the booth only.
Right.
Correct.
That we don't have product that's not in the store in the booth.
Well, because Prickly Pear
That's
is
what
mostly
that's what the
clothing.
issue was.
So,
It is clothing store.
Yes, I don't think that
It
there
was
is,
representative.
to the best of my knowledge, I don't think that there's an issue with the product that is at the Terra Gallery booth.
Okay.
no.
And the issue of Prickly Pear was discussed at a different meeting, and actually, because it's not on the
Got
agenda,
it,
it
okay.
gets a little
Muddled.
iffy to have that discussion.
Gotcha.
But I'm not aware of, from seeing Terra Gallery's booth, it seems now, just like before, that it is a representation of that store. And I can't really address these other issues. I'm not familiar with them. But it does appear that at his booth is an excellent representation of what's in the Terra Gallery store. You know, those globes that are like inlaid stone, they're super cool, and those swirly things, I mean, they're very prominently displayed in this store.
Gotcha. But the discussion that was held about Terra Gallery was to make sure that going forward, it's only Terra Gallery merchandise.
Right.
But it was more, I think it was more that Prickly Pear was carrying in their booth some Terra merchandise that wasn't in the Prickly Pear boutique.
Okay.
That was the issue. It was never an issue with Terra Gallery.
Well, I think the reason we wanted Terra Gallery discussion today was the interaction that they had between staff and the board. And I don't know whether, has the letter gone out to all the vendors? You know, and we had issues before with the staff down there being mistreated. And this board has decided that we're not going to tolerate it. And that goes for everybody. And we hope going forward in the future that the staff downtown gets the respect that it deserves.
Are you referencing one of my employees?
Pardon me?
You're saying one of my employees did something wrong?
I think you did.
No.
Well, that's not the report we got back from staff. Do you want to elaborate, staff,
No idea where they're talking.
or not go there?
No.
particular something, because
It- Which, I'd love to talk to an employee if you give me a name.
I think part of the issue was the conduct that took place at this board meeting. And I think
Yeah.
the board was.
I agree with you.
You're
So-
referencing me?
Yes.
I think the conduct that took place at the board meeting when you presented, the board felt a bit offended by it. And
What is the shoulder shrug? I mean,
I'm sorry you're offended. That wasn't my goal. It was to tell the truth. And Prickly Pear booth did nothing wrong, in my opinion. Everything in that booth is found in our
We're
store.
not-
See,
we're not here to
this
debate.
is exactly the problem. It's exactly the problem. The problem that, A, you violated the terms of the agreement by which you are granted the privilege of having a booth at VillageFest, and you're still standing on the same thing, and quite frankly, when you were here, you were very strong on that and disruptive when the board members were presenting their case. So we had a problem with that. I think I was very vocal with it. I even asked you if you could tone it down a little bit and said that it was a little bit inappropriate. But you carry this attitude as though you are entitled to be there and we're getting in your way, and that is not what VillageFest is. VillageFest is an artisan showcase that we set up every week to allow local artists to show and sell their product. The fact you're a downtown merchant and VillageFest happens to be in front of some of the stores, there was an agreement a long time ago to then allow downtown merchants to come and sell their merchandise, which is not artisan craft, handmade by the artist actually representing at the fair. But it was a compromise because we realized that some of the vendors felt that it was a little disruptive to their business because of, egress to their store, booths in front of your window, whatever. I mean, quite frankly, VillageFest brings more traffic downtown on Thursday night than there would be. But that was it. So no, you're not entitled to be there, and no, you're not entitled to then have an attitude if somebody asks you a question or questions your merchandise because it doesn't match to your store. And you're still saying exactly the same thing. I didn't do anything wrong. You clearly crossed over and took merchandise from Terra Gallery and started to display it on the table for Prickly Pear. I was here when we interviewed you for Prickly Pear. You presented Prickly Pear Boutique as a clothing boutique.
he
Clothing
wasn't even
boutiques
there.
do not.
He didn't come to that
Well, whoever
presentation.
was here, but it was presented as a clothing boutique. We were now told since then that you don't want to necessarily bring the clothing out because you're carrying a higher level of clothing you don't really want to put on the street. So instead, you utilized that booth as an auxiliary booth to your Terra Gallery booth, as well as whatever other merchandise. And that's just not okay. And whether or not you think it's okay, we are the board, and we are telling you that is not okay. And you must accept that.
May I say- Okay. My manager I'm general manager for the bookstore. I was personally packing the little bag when she came here. The little bag contained several pieces of clothing, which we tried at first. It had a little rooster, it had a little spinner, and a little road runner. I personally packed those items.
Okay.
And which one of you has been to Prickly Pear personally? We have a big rooster standing in front of the store. It's this tall. We have a display right in the middle of the store. It's like a little.
I'm sorry
like
to
a little
interrupt.
A.
I'm so sorry, honey, to interrupt, but we are not talking about Prickly Pear. It
No.
is not on our agenda. It is a
Exactly.
Brown Act violation to talk about Prickly Pear today. What we want to talk about is Terra Gallery, and just my opinion is that Terra Gallery's booth, which has been at VillageFest for how long?
5, 6 years, 7.
Which is
I don't
fine.
They've been there a long time, and that is a representation of their store, and that is what we're
So, but
talking
wait,
about
but
on the
Joy,
agenda.
It is, I think to Dan's point, it is about this sense of entitlement that we wanted to talk about.
And you were not in the meeting,
Right,
so
I
you
was
did not
here.
experience it.
I understand that, but today's discussion is Terra Gallery and.
Whether or
and-
not it should be continuing in the street fair.
Well, at
Well-
this point, I don't see any problem in them remaining on the street.
I feel like
Terra
if you
Gallery.
want to give them a warning because
Right.
there was some sort of inappropriate
Exactly.
activity, then that would be the appropriate thing to do. But if we want to discuss the other store, then we need to bring it back on the agenda again because that's just what you're supposed to do. So
Well, we're not really
it's
trying to
a-
discuss the other store, just to be fair. What we were talking about was this
'Cause it
gentleman
melds
denies
together.
anything was wrong, and I was qualifying the details behind what is wrong that he will not acknowledge.
But it's
Okay.
not at this one that we're discussing
Okay, so
today.
the point here is that the behavior of the vendor, he happens to be the vendor for both booths. The behavior of the vendor violates our code of conduct and just the spirit of our meetings. So if this vendor is going to continue to do that, then it puts Terra Gallery booth in question and at risk. Know that,
But
okay?
right now, there's no problem with them staying on the street.
No, not at all.
As long as.
Not at all.
You know, there isn't any continued abuse with any staff member on the street.
Or board.
Or board.
And we
But-
would love
but
for you to
particularly
just
on-
acknowledge that and say, absolutely, I agree, there will not be a problem.
When did the abuse happen? Because I
We're
know
not going to
nothing
discuss,
about it.
we're not going to discuss this with you.
Well, I would like to discipline my employee if that happened because I know.
We're not talking about prickly pear, so
We're
that
not talking,
again.
right.
What about, no, I'm talking about Terra Gallery.
So is this something you want to bring
She wasn't
back and
at
have
the-
both
she
of them
wasn't at
on
meeting
the
either,
paper?
So you
I
weren't
mean-
privy to the
No,
conversation
I don't
that
think
happened
so.
here at the board meeting.
No.
So
At this point, I believe the board wanted to express their frustration with how the board
Right.
meeting was handled. I agree that because the owner is the same, I think that's where the bit of a mishmash is coming together, is there's one owner for two storefronts. You've made a decision that the entire board agreed with regarding prickly pear. So I'd like to move forward from that.
can't we just leave it with a warning like,
Yes.
Right, so now
Yes.
we're
That's
here,
the
you
plan.
wanted,
Yeah.
you asked to have Terra Gallery
Right.
put on the agenda. I always want to make sure that vendors are able to represent themselves when the board is going to make a decision about their future with VillageFest, which is why I asked for you to attend, so you had the ability to have a conversation with the board and defend your booth in any way. So I don't want the board to make decisions without vendor participation. So now I would like the board to, if you feel like you've had enough discussion
Yeah,
regarding
I think
telegallery,
so.
make some sort of recommendation.
Well,
So I just have a question. Wasn't there a vote taken last time we were
On the
here?
other booth.
on the other
okay.
booth. It wasn't on Terra.
Right.
No, we wanted to bring back talk about Terra Gallery.
Because
to-
it wasn't on your last agenda,
It
so you
wasn't on the
couldn't
last
talk about it.
agenda, right.
Prickly pear was
So
on the last one.
that's forget that. But anyway, and it was, because some people were talking, maybe Terra Gallery should be off the street. And we wanted to talk about that today.
Right.
I don't think that's necessary. I think that as long as there is an ample warning about behavior, as a letter has gone out to every single vendor regarding this problem, because it is a problem.
You're not the only one.
There have been vendors on the street that have mistreated staff. And not these two.
Are you implying mine?
No, I'm not, no, I'm saying the
In
letter
general.
went out regarding all vendors, because there was an incident a while ago that didn't pertain to you. Joy was here, she knows, of a vendor on the street that really talked terribly to staff. And that was the issue that we brought up then, and why that letter was written and sent out.
This is a
Not
broader
because of
brush,
you,
including guests.
because of an entirely different situation, but it applies to every single vendor on the street, now that the letter is out. So that should be the end of it.
can
The
we
letter
make,
has
we should
been
vote on the
received.
warning.
Yeah. Do we don't need a motion to do that, do we?
You don't, but you can, if we want to just have it in the notes, that
Okay. All right, give me a,
verbal warning was provided to the vendor.
all right. Want to give me a motion?
I move that we put the verbal warning into the notes.
Second,
A second?
discussion?
Thank you. I think that is handled in a way
Yeah.
that
Okay.
everybody could live with.
Yeah, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No.
Okay. Thank you for coming. I
you.
appreciate it.
Can I say one last thing, please?
Go right ahead.
I will be appealing the suspension on Prickly Pear Booth. So if you don't mind putting me on the agenda in 2 weeks, and I will show that all our product is in our store and was in our store. That's it. I appreciate your time.
So the rules and regulations require you to write a formal letter to staff.
I
And
will
then
do
we'll get
that.
it on the agenda.
Yep.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yes.
Where am I? Unfinished business. VillageFest poster contest?
I just wanted to, maybe we can talk offline about creating some sort of incentive. That's something we can do. I'm sorry, we moved this to do more of a youth
Move
poster.
the youth
Yeah.
poster.
Okay, so if we want to set up a meeting offline and have Joy attend,
Okay.
I think that would be best to move this forward, move this project forward.
Joy, is the person that you deal with for the holiday poster, is that Barbara Anglin?
That is one of the people,
Okay.
but we deal with 11 different
Okay.
schools, and some of them are like churches and the city's youth group and James O'Jesse. So
Okay.
it's not all just in
Yep.
the schools, which of course leaves you a little bit more time because
Right.
those are year-round. And so sometimes if we run a little late, we could
Sure.
pick up on those
Absolutely.
entities
Okay.
too. Not them ever late.
Okay. Because I did get the information from Charlie
Charlie?
Ciali, yeah,
Nice.
about the Palm Springs school system, and I have that. And he also gave me something, Rancho Mirage High School Visual and Performing Arts. I don't know, but
Well,
anyway,
that's
so I
Palm
have that.
Springs.
Okay.
That's Palm Springs Unified. I
Yes.
mean, we go all the way to there for their high
Okay.
schools as well.
So then you don't need this because you already have that information if we're going to meet, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay, any new business? None?
We have none.
Okay.
Oh, wait, okay, yeah, no,
sorry.
mine wasn't new business, no.
Okay, reports and requests, public?
What if we had I don't really know where I'm supposed to say it, but what if we had a Best of VillageFest? Have you ever thought about that?
What does that look like? Like a-
It could look like a surveying thing, and people could maybe put their ballots into a box, or they could vote online, like, their favorite
Like Palm
food
Springs
or
Life
their.
does that?
Yeah, like everybody
Best of
does
the
it,
Valley?
but just
That's
VillageFest.
kind of cool.
And then, you could have like the best jewelry booth, and, you could just do a lot of different things with it, and it could really help to focus on the different artisans here
That's a
in
great
different
idea.
ways. So I don't really know the details, I just thought of it the other day, though.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That is a good
Well,
idea.
that would
Who
take
would
me,
oversee that?
We'd have to publish it. That's the only way to do it.
well, but that would take me to our social media. Isn't there a means we could do that through, like, just some signage on the site, and then people are checking in, and if we're, with luck, I don't know what our resources would be, we could do geofencing and then see who's doing it. We'd capture some data out of it versus a slip of paper at the fair.
Right.
I agree.
I'll bring that up during our social media
Okay.
meeting. We have to set that meeting, because I think that's a great idea.
That is.
Something new and add some excitement to something that we
I love
do
it.
every week.
Because even then, like, a lot of people put the
Yay,
sign in
finally.
their window, they could put it
They
in their
liked
booth,
me. They
Best of
really
Village
liked me.
Fest 2020.
Right, yeah, that's a great
You could
idea.
also check with Palm Springs Life and make sure that they don't object to.
Using their,
Because we're basically using their.
Frankly,
Best of the Valley.
there might be some way to that we play nice together and they carry some of the work, like the voting.
Okay.
That's a city private, but
Yeah.
issue, but still, it's worth exploring.
For sure.
okay.
And we
Is
do
this-
have 7,000 likes on the Facebook page, and it's organic, they're not paid for, so that's
Yeah.
got some good stuff.
Okay, where are we?
I don't know if this falls under unfinished business, but, maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but do we have any feedback yet on the time change for our,
No, not yet.
Okay.
Nothing yet.
As
As soon as I know, when it gets on, it'll go to a council meeting. I'll let you know so that you can attend and voice your opinions if you want.
Jasmine asked for letters about the early morning, send her an email regarding why it should not be changed and for the reason the vendors have given us.
So that would go to you?
Okay, board comments?
Well, I have one other question, which is the ethics training. That's mandatory and for everyone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a sitting member of the board, though, I'd have to wonder whether you're voting or not, if you'd have to attend.
Yeah, I like going, so it's
Okay.
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 And this one, they're serving refreshments, so, you know.
But the dates.
Subcommittee reports, compliance,
It's not this week.
anything?
I think we have to take a look.
I went, so I was there last week and I quietly went through everything. I found one vendor in compliance with signage, permit, everything. Everybody else sort of had a
I know.
little, or
I
I
know.
found one. And we've had this conversation of what do we do other than, handing out tickets? And then what's the ramifications
Yeah.
of this? And I actually said something because they had everything there and they actually laughed. They're like,
Well,
wow.
sometimes they forget to put it up. They're busy putting their booth up and
Yeah,
then,
but one out of how many
I know.
is?
And some are
Pretty poor.
actually, when I've talked to them, have actually been defiant.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So,
Yeah.
that was where the joke about the tin badge came from. And it's,
So you just called me.
yeah.
Yeah, in what way, Daryl? What have you experienced?
When I've asked them about it, well, who are you? Why do you want to do that? Well, I just said I'm a board member and we're coming through to make sure. And I often tell people, we're doing this to make sure that everybody follows the same rules and that somebody else doesn't show up without the process. And we're trying to protect you and your investment in your business. And in this particular case, what saved the guy was a couple of people, some customers walked up, or potential customers. But he's there every week. It's a fairly nice, well-put-together booth, a little dark, but the permit is just not there. And he was kind of nasty about it. Other people, they dig it out, or either got busy,
Yeah.
or, there's a few who've made phone calls.
Well, I think staff, you've sent out letters to
Yeah.
them, emails to them.
Right, and we've done, I know that I did a walkthrough just myself. We
Yeah.
split up the block, me and some of the staff that were out there, and went line by item by, or vendor by vendor, just to ensure that they had them up.
Right.
So maybe what we should do is maybe set up a time where either you and I can go, or you and Faith can go, or someone from the compliance committee, maybe even just hit half a block, anything along that line.
Yeah.
So we could, just kind of reinforce that.
So in mass, a little bit more of a representation.
Yeah, and I am sincere. I really believe that part of this is you got to play by the rules so we can protect you.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
you've run the gauntlet. You're in here. You're doing business. But what's not to say? Because I know I text her regularly pictures of people who don't belong on the street.
Oh, yeah, that happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
People just set up.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
We,
Oh, yeah.
when the fair I used to be involved with, we called them rogue vendors. They wait for things to go in, they look for an empty spot, and they slide in,
Oh, absolutely.
set up business. Guests don't know the difference.
Right.
And in that particular case, we started issuing permits that I hand signed, 242 permits, because then there was no way to fake it if I walked up. So, but yeah, I don't know how to get folks to understand this is actually for as much for their protection
Yeah,
as
how do
anything else.
we enforce it?
Ultimately, there has to be repercussions.
Yeah.
So
I know,
it's-
and
you have to
that's-
get
Warnings.
written up.
Start with
Yeah.
a warning,
up.
written warning.
So many warnings or written up, so many tickets, like you get.
Because I'll admit,
And
last
then
week
you're
I went home.
temporarily
One
off the
verbal, one
street.
written,
Yeah.
and then a suspension.
I mean, I literally thought, coming home last week, is this being too childish that, or like it was a week before, whatever, that we write up a ticket, I put their name next to it, I give them a copy, there's numbers, there's a little check and balance there, but it's like, here's your citation, we're turning this in at the office. And we're going to start
That would have
tracking
some
that.
weight.
I think they'll start paying attention.
Well, I think if we're gonna write a citation, which we have in-house citations
Okay.
already printed up, that it needs to be, a staff person needs to be with the board member.
Okay.
Right.
And that's
fair.
fine. We
Yeah.
can do that. It's just sometimes Faith gets pulled in a couple different directions, so if we set a time where
Yeah.
I can go out, so I can focus on it with a board member, and Faith can focus on getting the street in order, we can definitely make that happen.
Because I think the vendors aren't taking it seriously.
And that's part of it, is some of them are
You know,
like,
they just, they forget that, because when I walk the street once and they go, oh, I forgot to do it. And they
who's
went,
the crazy bald guy who says he's with the board and wants a permit, you know?
Or you can
We got
take a
two
picture
crazy
of the booth.
Exactly.
You know, you can take a picture
Yeah,
and
so I
send it to
think
staff.
some
and
kind of-
staff
some
can
kind of
take it from there so that
notification
you're not running
will
crazy.
probably get
all
their
night.
attention more.
The silver pewter lady,
Yeah.
great example. There's never a sign, there's never a permit. Granted, she's always slammed, but put up two things.
Yeah.
Yes, it's in our rules.
Okay.
So I think a picture shows
Yeah.
a warning in essence, and then a letter goes out to them, so you're not doing double work.
And maybe that's it. We send a picture in the mail and say, you know, please fix the following.
This is just an idea.
Brother.
What about maybe putting out a notice to all the vendors, telling them that VillageFest does have a compliance committee. It's been brought to our attention that there are some folks who do not have their documentation and that there have been squatters, so we want to make sure.
Yeah, we have to
And we
warn
will
them.
be running periodic audits. Please be prepared to show your blah, 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 to prevent any disruption to your, what do you want to call it?
Your business.
No, well, in other words, like even their evening, because at a certain point, we could say, well, if you don't have it, we're going to have to ask you to
On the
leave.
street.
Get out.
Yeah.
I think, some kind of notification that we are taking this serious and that something, they're going to be watched and
Yeah.
talked to.
You know, you're
Ahead
dealing,
of time before we actually give citations.
Yeah.
you know, it's like in our industry, we have so many kids that we take care of. We got to tell them when the breaks are, when the lunches are. This gets really, you're talking about older people
Yeah.
that really should follow rules. They got the permit, they know what the
Right.
rules are. There's too much paperwork. Just take a picture, send them a fine,
And we
and be
can all
done
do
with
that.
it.
We can all take pictures if
Yes.
we walk
I
down
mean,
there.
the nice thing about the letter is if we know the letter goes out on April 1st, that we can literally say, April 1st, you were notified in writing from the office. We give them 4 weeks, and we go out May 1st, and that May
Yeah.
1st,
Yeah.
you were notified by mail, and this is the follow-up, so.
You could also, make something up for you, things, if
Yeah.
you're not in compliance, and you can just check it off and leave it at the vendor booth, and that you can, and it doesn't even have to necessarily say that it comes from you, it can come from staff, this is what you're
Right.
missing.
Right.
And that's fair.
You're not in
And then how do you
compliance,
follow,
idea.
and then following up with it is
Well,
another difficult
We
thing.
should log them.
We- we
Log
can-
them So we know repeat offenders.
We could log them or almost photograph them and send
send it
them,
to me.
and
Yeah.
then there's documentation.
If you have a picture, it's going to show exactly what they're missing.
Right.
But
Then
like
the
a little
warning
check
go-
box to show the vendor, like you don't have your permit or you don't have your sign, and they can.
Yeah.
Right.
This is from
So
staff.
they'll start taking us serious.
And that's it, because the compliance is to back you guys up and make your life easier, at least that's my
Right.
theory, and also to protect these people that
Yeah.
we're trying to safeguard your investment and your customers.
Right. Yeah, because, if they've been there a long time, they're doing well on the street.
Right.
And they don't want to lose that
Yeah.
ability.
There's a reason I go to the trouble every week.
Yeah, right.
And maybe just let them know too, if they have lost their permit, that there would be some way they could get a new one, because that's probably, you're packing and
That's a
unpacking
great-
every week.
Yeah, that's a great thing to
You're
add in there.
Have
totally,
that in the letter, if you do
Yeah.
not have one, contact staff.
yeah.
Well, and I
You
have,
don't.
So you've already done that in the
Oh my
letter?
gosh,
Yeah,
the letter
so
says that.
they've already been told.
and I have
Your
actually
responsibility.
I think
had
it's just negligence.
vendors who called the manager or whoever the primary contact was, and it turned out they had gone to the trouble of putting it in a plastic sleeve to put it someplace safe, except they forgot to tell the person.
Yeah.
And it was like, bim, bam, bam, that was easy. So,
Okay. That's enough of that. Okay, social media?
We have a meeting set.
Okay.
We'll follow up at your next board meeting.
Okay, food court.
We're just tabling that till.
Oh, we're tabling that?
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
till-
we're not doing anything.
Exactly, because there's no room.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, we're full. I can't believe it. I haven't been down there in a while. Okay, Main Street comments.
None, thank you. I mean, everything seems to be
Has it settled
okay. I think
down a
we
little
had
bit?
some, we had some discussion at the last meeting, that's okay, but I understand better now, and I spoke to that vendor
Yeah.
several times, and so everything's fine.
Hi.
Ta-da.
Ready? On to the next item.
Hi, Patrick.
Okay, staff reports?
So we invited Patrick from the Office of Sustainability. He was anticipated to be at your last board meeting, but we were missing a board member who had a very strong interest in sustainability and events. So we asked him to attend this meeting in which he would be at. So we just wanted to invite Patrick and let him know that this board has an interest in becoming a little bit more of a sustainable event and talk about possibly some measures that the event could take, even if they're minimal, and something that we can grow into to become more of a sustainable event.
Sure. Well, thanks, everybody. Patrick Tallarico, Manager of the Office of Sustainability, if you didn't know who I was. So can I just make a quick comment about your last discussion about enforcement? So the only recommendation that I would have is that you keep track of the violators, and it's really the people that have multiple violations that you're really interested in.
Right.
And so just taking a note from our leaf blower perspective, it's really those second and third time offenders
Right.
that you really want to get.
Right.
And so have a cutoff to say, you know what,
Oh,
3
yeah.
strikes and you're
Yeah.
out. So just
Yeah.
think about that. So
If I can, real quick.
Yeah,
Patrick,
go ahead,
Some of the
Daryl.
background is, if
Yeah.
you recall, probably 6-8 weeks ago, I mentioned, and we were talking about the food court and some of the changes and aspirations, but brought off sustainability because of a meeting that I was at for the city, but with Patrick, and also discussed some of the things that are coming down the pike in the future towards sustainability throughout the state that we're eventually going to have to be in compliance with composting, recyclability, straws, you name it. So why not get ahead of the curve as we go into the food court conversations? And ergo, let's try and be proactive versus reactive.
Perfect.
Yeah. So on that note, there are a few things to just be aware of that we've been talking about and that may be coming down the pike in terms of our own city ordinances, but also at the state level. So just a few things to keep in mind from a vendor perspective. The things that you're probably going to see in our city ordinance that is yet to be finalized. But one thing that is pretty strong, there's a lot of opposition to, is the polystyrene foam. And so if you can encourage your vendors to stay away from polystyrene foam foodware, the clamshells and the cups in particular, those will probably be banned at some point here in the near future. The accessories on request, so to the extent that people have an option to not get a fork or a spoon or a straw or something like that, then try to have vendors make those on request only to the extent that they can. No plastic straws, so try to stay away from those as much as you can. Go to compostable or fiber-based alternatives. Again, those are probably things that are going to end up in the ordinance in some form or fashion. The other big one that may affect your vendors is plastic bags. So there's always been a little bit of a loophole in the law in our current ordinance with regard to food-related bags. And so I think people have stretched that to a lot of other bags. And so I wouldn't be surprised if that plastic bag ordinance got more strict. So switch to paper, switch to reusables, things like that. And that's the other broad thing that I would recommend, is that if there's any way for them to encourage reusables, whether it's bags, whether it's people coming with cups to fill for certain beverages, that would be great, because that's really what we're going to try to move towards in a lot of places. You guys are sort of in a different space. You're more like a takeout service, so we can't do a lot of the reusable foodware items that we might in a sit-down restaurant. But again, just encouraging that and encouraging people to think about that is going to be really helpful for us. One change that you will definitely see is in the near future is we're going to be having new temporary trash containers on the streets. So the boxes that you see that PSDS puts out, we're making a top for one of those to only be for recyclables. So it's been really confusing. I think some of them have been labeled recyclables and just trash goes in there. So the new ones have just a hole in the top, and it'll have a label that says bottles and cans only. And so anyway, so hopefully that'll encourage people to just use those for recycling. one of the things that Daryl mentioned was some things coming down the road from the state level. So in a couple of years, we are going to be, well, in the very near future, we're going to be developing some new organics management requirements. And so this is going to target mostly the restaurants, but I think we're going to try to do it more broadly as well. But really trying to establish a collection system for organic waste like food waste at events like this. So we're going to do a little pilot run at the 1PS picnic. We've gotten one PSDS on board. We're going to have recycling bins and composting bins as well as trash bins. And so we're going to kind of try it out there and see if we can work with some of the food vendors to make all of that happen effectively. So again, it would sort of mimic what we might do at VillageFest too, is set up some of those food waste bins and direct people to that for their food waste, and probably have some presence there to instruct people how it works and all that kind of stuff. So that's something that down the road we're going to want to think about and do more with. We have been, and again, this may change based on our conversations about the ordinance, but we have been a little reluctant to push particular alternatives on the foodware front. So there's been a lot of talk about compostables and things like that as a better alternative. So until we get a better handle on how we manage our organics and how we handle those compostables, we're a little reluctant to push people in that direction. It's certainly better than plastic in our opinion, but again, we're sort of holding off on that a little bit until we get the infrastructure question down. The other thing is if vendors kind of sell things in plastic or bottles or aluminum cans, that's an easy way for them to promote recycling, so they can just take it, drink it, and put it in the recycling bin because we know that that stuff gets recycled and collected. So those are a few things. And then listening to your suggestion about the Best of VillageFest, makes me think of some other conversations that we're having as well with regard to recognizing sustainable businesses. So if there are ways that we can think of to think about some criteria for the different vendors in terms of maybe the products that they sell or how they sell it or the way that they package it, or the lighting that they use in their booth or something like that, to have some criteria there to say, hey, I'm a green booth or something like that, to also recognize them for going a little bit above and beyond in terms of their processes and their products. So anyways, that's something else we can think about too.
Patrick, would that apply also to artists who are using recycled materials to make things and sell that makes them green as well, right? Okay.
Yeah, that would be a great thing to recognize. Yeah.
So Patrick, we talked about all this with the paper goods and everything else and the food compost. Are you also talking to restaurants maybe about whatever food is left over that maybe we can start feeding the homeless or Well of the Desert, or bringing the food to these places where it can be recycled?
Right. So that's a great question, because that is actually also part of this ordinance that's going to be coming out. So there's going to be a whole component of it that's to basically rescue usable food. So that would be another great discussion to have with your food vendors to see if we can set up some sort of a system for that. There's certainly things to think about, like liability issues and things like that, but there is a certain amount of that happens already through grocery stores. But again, if we could expand that to the vendors at the VillageFest, that would be awesome. Yeah. So. And the other question I had for you guys is, how do you guys usually get your power? Is it usually just through extension cords, or is it generators?
Extension cords.
Okay, that's what I thought. I didn't hear many generators going on in there.
Back in the day when I had a booth, we had to carry 2 car batteries.
Really?
Yes.
Back
Wow.
in the day.
But the cars were still new.
Really? Two car batteries, because we didn't have the light post yet with the electrical outlet.
Mr. Edsel would come in and loan batteries.
Yeah.
And we're not saying where she got those batteries from either.
Right.
She stole them from some cars.
Yeah.
Out of the car, yeah.
The Fords originally dropped them off.
Exactly.
And the hubcaps were just a byproduct.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay,
So anyway, so yeah, that would be a great conversation to continue to have with you guys and figure out some criteria for that. That would
Absolutely,
be
you have
great.
some great ideas. We appreciate it greatly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Really good. And as things evolve, we'll let you know. I think that the whole foodware ordinance and plastic ordinance will be a topic of a study session, and we're tentatively looking at April 2nd. So hopefully we can get that on the calendar and have a good discussion about where that goes, because we've got a draft ordinance, but we haven't really shared it much with city council, so we don't really know if they're on board. So we want to try to get their input first.
Well, there is that.
Right, so,
That may take a while.
yeah, so anyway, so that's kind of where we are with that stuff, but there's no reason that we can't do better before then,
Yeah,
so.
Sure.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
you
great.
keep us updated on that, we'll see if we can get a board member to attend and
That'd be
maybe
great.
just listen in on some of the things that we can then implement, maybe just be a little bit ahead of the curve on that one.
Cool.
Thank you so much for
right,
attending. We
Great,
appreciate
thank you,
it.
Patrick.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Fascinating
for being
stuff. Good stuff.
Okay.
It's a Wednesday.
Does anybody else have anything else?
I want, they throw away so much food.
Yeah, I know.
To see them give it to the homeless.
I got your adjournment.
Okay, we have a second. All those in favor? Aye, aye. All right, adjournment is at 5:13.